There is some important things that I need to say. If you know me as a fragrance reviewer, I'm glad that you're here. If you know me as a Christian, because I also read scripture in videos, I'm glad that you're here. But I do have some things to say that if you do know me from my Christian content, you might not like. And I'm not saying it so that you won't like it. I'm just saying it because I always want to be transparent. And if you watch anything that I do, whether it's fragrance related or faith related, I want you to know who I am so that you don't feel tricked or anything like that, because we live in a world where people have very strong feelings about stuff. So, I've been a Christian for quite some time. I've been studying the Bible for quite some time. I study under friends with their doctorate degrees from various theological backgrounds for quite some time now. Almost 8 years I've been doing that. Even before I got sober, I started doing that. Before I was even actually fully, really what I would call a Christian, I was doing that because I just really wanted to know about religious histories, and I also wanted to understand the Bible. But with that being said, I don't say any of that to be impressive. I don't think that it would be. I'm just saying that I do want to understand things, and I've been trying to understand the Bible for a very long time. But things have been negotiated for a very long time. Just like Dan McCullough says all the time, it's not a joke. People have constantly been picking and choosing exactly what it means to be a Christian and how they want to be one. So I call myself a Christian, and I do in fact believe in Jesus. I believe that Jesus came here. I believe that he served out the will of the Father. And I believe that he tried to show the peoples of the time, the religious peoples, that they were doing things and taking all the wrong things serious, and so much more, and how we should treat one another, how we should live on this earth, and how we should be towards one another and have a relationship with the God in heaven, our Father. And I believe that with all my heart. On the other hand, I do believe that we don't exactly know everything that happened or how it happened, because the Bible, I do not believe, was perfectly preserved. It was decided on, it was pieced together by voting and people throughout time. It was written by people throughout time, even afterwards of the events as they happened, the Old Testament and the New Testament. That's something that I believe, and I don't just believe it, but it's something that's pretty much agreed in most scholarship, or unanimously. And so I say that to say that I don't believe things are perfect in any sense that we could ever have a perfect theology. I believe that people are, again, picking and choosing their denomination, and they always have been in some way, shape, or form. From the Protestant Reformation forwards, and even prior to that, people were still picking and choosing how they should even do things in the original church due to politics and so forth. So, I, for instance, love gay people. I believe that people overcorrect. I believe people talking about, for instance, that gay people are too lustful or something like that. Well, a lot of that comes from oppression, just like people talk about feminists. Yet at the same time, women were treated horribly throughout history. It's not a joke. It's serious. People overcorrect things all the time, but I believe that people are ultimately as God intended them and made them to be, and that there's still more things, like people being gay, that eventually will hopefully find our way to respect and accept people